Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is John Van Lunen, and you're listening to Treasures of the Outer Banks, the podcast that celebrates the people and places that make the Outer Banks special. We're on episode 33 today, and I had the chance to sit down with Rebecca Prince Myers and her husband Brad. And Rebecca is the owner of VusicOBX, and she is basically a concert organizer. She books and organizes concerts mostly at the Roanoke Island Festival Park in downtown Manio. We had a great talk, and you can hear how she started from scratch and built it up from there with the help of her husband Brad. You may notice some squeaky noises in the background. That is my dog Bo. He was playing with a squeaky toy at my feet, and I just didn't have the heart to stop him. So I hope you enjoyed this talk with Rebecca and Brad, and at the end I'll follow up with some more information. So Rebecca, tell me how Vusic started.
Okay. During the pandemic, and we were sitting at home in quarantine like everybody else in the world, and it starts mainly because we're huge music fans. We've been to a million shows and festivals, and during the pandemic, us along with everybody else missed it bad. So we're sitting in our kitchen, and some sort of article popped up on, or no, what was it, a video? It was a video up on the screen. That somebody's throwing a festival in Europe somewhere, and it was socially distanced. They were up on balconies, and we just kind of sat there like, we could do this. Like maybe we could try. So we decided to. And then at the time, obviously with the pandemic, Mike Diana was doing all the music locally, and so.
What is that? What do you mean by him? He was doing all this.
So he had a company called Bearded Face Productions, and he would throw like Mustang music festivals up in Corolla. He would book a lot of the local shows that were happening.
Okay.
He was just like, he and Raven, I don't know if you've heard her name. Between the two of them, they would book most of the local music.
Really?
So during the pandemic, he was sort of stepping back and away from it to get back into the restaurant business because he owns one in Corolla.
Right.
And Raven and her son tragically died in a house fire.
Oh, I remember hearing about that.
Yeah, and we were friends with her. Okay. Yeah, just awful. So there was, for all those reasons, big void, live music.
Yeah.
This video pops up on our TV, and we're like, let's give this a go. We hit up Mike Diana, asked him if he would be interested in being involved. He was just he was done with it for a while, wanted to go back to restaurant and step back. So he mentored us and sort of talked us through it, like, you really want to do this? Okay, let's see. And he helped us a lot. But we did it, and we did it at the Hilton. It was a 2-day music festival. We had 80 rooms of people.
And did they book specifically for that experience?
Yes. So
they had to get Oceanside or something?
All the internal rooms on it. It's sort of shaped like a U.
Right.
So all the internal rooms were booked, 2 to 4 people, and they had to stay on their balconies. They had bed, bath, bar right there in their room.
Cool.
And then we had a sort of VIP section down in the courtyard that were 10 feet apart tables.
Yep.
Table service. If you were walking around, you had to wear a mask. It was kind of weird, but it was what everybody needed.
Yep.
So everybody that came, people traveled from all over, mostly fans of the bands that we had, and it was a reggae festival with The Movement and Little Stranger and Elevators. Tropidelic.
Sensi Trails.
Yep, Sensi Trails was a local band at the time. Kyle Rising was from here. So 8 bands. Cultivated Mind, he's from Virginia. So
and
all
Mustang.
these, sorry, yeah.
And by the way, this is Brad, her husband, Rebecca's husband's kind of chiming in,
yes,
giving us some extra
feedback,
help.
some help. It's been a long couple of years, crazy years, but so anyway, the fans from all these 8 bands sort of filled the place. It sold out, and it was.
How did you find them?
Magical. We posted it all on social media and said, we're having this festival, socially distanced, safe, lots of logistics, and worked with the hotel. Was amazing.
What time of year was this?
April.
Okay.
So 2 years ago from right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
That seems not too long ago.
No, it wasn't.
That we were still doing crazy stuff back then. Yeah.
Right. So we were from scratch learning. I mean, we had lots of basically when we planned all these, it was through the eyes of a fan because we've been to so many shows.
Sure.
Like, what do people want? What do I like? You know, what do you like? And let's just make it comfortable and awesome and cool.
Very cool. And is reggae your favorite music?
Yes.
Okay.
We like lots of music, lots of genres, but mostly reggae and then rock and roll. We're really expanding this year. We'll get into that, but that first year we did the hotel festival. People begging for more. Please, please, please do this. Do it again. Do it again. And then the restrictions opened up. So we looked around, and I think it was Mike who suggested checking in out the park, which is Roanoke Island Festival Park in Manio, being underutilized at the time and beautiful venue. So we did, and we got 2 shows that summer, and it was...
Was that still 2 summers ago?
Yes, 2021.
Yeah, we thought the hotel was going to be a one and done. Just things seem to be opening back up and starting to get back to normal.
Right.
But the response from that festival was overwhelming, just from the fans and the bands and their management. It was just
that's great.
It was something that we all needed at that time more than ever, and just those sleepover events. You create just a unique bond with the fans and the bands, and it basically grew.
Right.
What we call like a music family from that we're still, friends, and have a lot of people that work for us that were at that original festival. And then, I think just the word got out, and we were approached if we wanted to do that. It was Sublime with Rome and Dirty Heads, that first show in July of 21. And we just jumped at it, and it sold out pretty quick. And then Michael Franti was later in that same summer, and it was a different kind of show experience that people just loved.
How so?
Michael Franti he gets out in the crowd, and he's very, very interactive with the fans, and just he just has a good feeling, good vibe. It's almost like a spiritual concert. A lot of people were moved by it for sure, and he was one of Raven's and Sebi's favorites. Yeah. So Raven's family was there, and it was just a really good feeling that whole day. And then we thought we were just do those 2.
Okay, so I got to stop for a second. I owned a business for 24 years. I coach lacrosse. I organize people. But I couldn't imagine, going from organizing a high school lacrosse practice to organizing a professional lacrosse practice or something like that, or setting up a high school lacrosse game and then having to set up a professional lacrosse game. I mean, that's almost kind of you guys basically just walked out of your house and said, "Doggone it, we're going to throw a concert." This is just kind of mind blowing. Yeah. I mean, what was the learning curve like on that?
Well, having Mike Diane as a friend and consultant, we had all the questions you can have, and he had been doing it the last 10 years or so in the area, so there was no one with more knowledge about it than to.
It's great that I don't even know this guy, but it's great that he could just be such a free flowing fountain of information.
Mm-hmm.
Just what a great mentor that must have been.
Yes, and he's a huge live music fan, so he wanted the music to continue, more than anybody. Nice. So that's it was kind of cold feet, but he hooked us up with all the professionals in the area. So we basically hired his team that he used for stage production, lights, sound.
How big is that?
There was a team. Shelly Gates is our main stage manager, and she usually has a team anywhere from 4 to sometimes I think we had to have 15 stagehands for a few of the shows. And then Matt Hargard with Sea Level Sound, he has a crew of 3 or 4 for the lights and sound. And then sometimes we have to bring in some other lights guys if the tour is looking for something special. So yeah, it's basically we hired people that are the best at it in the area.
And and again, it's like, is this in the phone book, or is there yellow pages where you just find lighting and sound people and stuff like that, or you just, I guess again, Mike Diana, he knows all the people. He just gave you the numbers, right?
Yeah, he did. He started the Mustang Outreach Program. I don't know if you've heard of that.
Kids?
Students, yeah.
Right.
So we knew him through that.
Okay.
Became friends with him. He'd come to the house and sit during the pandemic, and we'd all like round table. So what do we do for this, or what do we do for that, and kind of coming up with leads for different departments, like logistics. You need a logistics lead, or hospitality. Who we found actually through Raven was Amy Lynn McCabe. Does all that for us backstage. She takes care of the bands, the shopping, all the things that they want on their riders when they come. Just making it comfortable. So yeah, a lot of the contacts came from people who had already. We didn't reinvent the wheel, but we definitely had to learn it. I mean, it was hours and hours and hours of learning and Excel sheets, and that's how we started. Now we sort of have some software. We've got a ticket platform.
Wow.
We didn't that first year. So it was wild.
Just a shoebox and
yeah, it was Excel sheets of people's names. When they came to the hotel, I knew all their names just because I'd studied it so many times. I'd say, "Oh, hey, Brittany and Nick."
Wow.
So
that's amazing. So why the name Vusic?
Same thing. That round table was, what can we call it? And it came from the hotel thing of, there's music, there was a view. So after brainstorming, it came up with music with a view, Vusic.
Right. Last summer, I'm still spending a lot of time in South Nags Head, and I go into Manio on the semi-regular, and I see all these signs for Vusic Fest. Mm-hmm. I didn't even know what it was, and I didn't even know it was you guys for sure. But tell me how, we talked about 2021. How did 2022 go?
That's when we catapulted.
Yeah?
Yes, we ended up having 12 shows. 2 of them were at Jack Brown's because they were smaller level or smaller capacity. So the park holds 3,500 is the cap. So we had 10 shows there.
That seems kind of small. Is that small?
It's small relative to, yes, amphitheaters and arenas and that type thing. But if you're there and you see it, it's
shoulder to shoulder, 3,500 people.
It's the park can fit 5,000, but because it's on an island, there's only one bridge on and off. They limit the capacity to 3,500. So there's elbow room. But it's all along. Like when you go to some of these stadium amphitheaters, they have like the seating and then a lawn. This one's all lawn.
100% lawn. Gotcha.
Yes. So you can find your own little space and spread out.
That's cool. That's my speed.
Yeah. For this area, it's I think pretty much if not the biggest venue. I mean, we have some fields where you can fit more people, but and then like Virginia Beach Amphitheater is 20,000 people, so it's definitely a lot smaller. But we're getting a lot of the same bands that they're getting up there. So like one of our first shows,
you can watch some really cool bands in the more intimate environment and have a good time. And I know some people ride up on their boats. Can you even hear anything from the water?
Oh yeah. You get you get them like they're clapping and hollering from the boats and stuff, especially because where the boats are is actually the backstage area.
Right.
So
that's why I was saying it's like, so the sound probably going in the wrong direction, but you're saying you can still hear it.
Yeah, you can. It's definitely not the clearest of sound, but you can definitely feel the bass and hear what's going on. And then you get some shout outs from the actual band members where, the band members will kind of give them a shout out. And sometimes they'll have like a VIP acoustic thing in the back to where the boat people get a little bit of that. Yeah.
Very cool.
But you can't pull up to the island show days. You have to, if you were going to dock, you have to go into town. There's a public boat ramp or boat dock. In downtown Manio, it's a quick walk. But a lot of boats come out there.
Yeah, that's very cool. So 12 shows. How does that? Is that? And I remember it was over several days. So was that 2 shows a day, or what?
No, just one each. Each show would be one day. But it involves, setup, breakdown. So, I mean, we're typically there 3 days.
And it's a different band every day.
Correct. So like if it's the Dirty Heads show, it's Dirty Heads with 3 bands that they're coming with, or 4 bands, or however many it is. If we do a festival that's even 2 stages, it might be 8 bands, but it's all the same day.
Really?
And people come in, they buy tickets, they come.
Yeah, so I mean,
for that day,
we've got the main concert, but what we're trying to do is some side shows and little activations like brunch with the band the next day, to just make it more than just a concert, and make it a destination event to where we can get people from Richmond or Raleigh to come for a weekend or 2 or 3 days, not just for a 3 or 4 hour concert, but some other fun stuff. So we've got Kitty Hawk Kites is a big help. Outer Banks Adventures comes day of show and takes like the bands out for like a fan boat ride, or we have kayaks there available. And we kind of focused that with the bands last year, but this year we're now offering it to fans also. Like day of show, you can rent kayaks, paddle boards, and boat rides, fishing, jet skis, just all that kind of stuff to again cool. make it more than just that one concert.
And you say some of these groups, they bring 3 bands, like lead up bands kind of thing,
right?
And so they got their own thing going on. They just show up. And you said two stages. Are they side by side or what?
No, well, sort of. We do 1 to 2 festivals. We did 2 last year. We're going to do 2 this year, and it's the main stage is the one that's built, and then we build one to the left that's near the water and where that other little dock is.
Right.
And it's smaller, but it'll be this band will play over here. You don't miss any music. They'll play, give you about 10, 15 minutes, and then this one starts over here. Huh. And then 15 more minutes. And those have to start like 1-ish in the midday, where our other shows typically are 5, 6 p.m. At night if it's just a single show.
Nice.
Some have like J-Rad's coming, which is Joe Russo's Almost Dead. It's a Grateful Dead mega cover band. They'll be by themselves, so they'll play a couple sets of all their greatest hits. Where another festival we're going to announce today is the 8 bands, 2-stage kind of setup. So they're all different. The logistics of it's kind of the same. I mean, we have to set up all the same stuff day before, break it down after, tents, right. Fencing. But we really try to make it a feel of grassroots festival feeling instead of a concrete amphitheater. Right. So I think that's what people like the most. The bands love it.
It's a cool setting. I've never been to music there, but I walk around there a lot. It's just
really
a very cool setting. You got the water backdrop. You're in the trees. You're in the woods, kind of thing. It's very cool.
And we're able to include lots of local people. So, for instance, it's OBX Renew IV. They'll come and give B12 shots to the bands, which they love. We have this girl Amanda who comes and does massage.
I read an article that you guys really pamper the band.
Yeah, we do.
Which, if I was a grassroots organization, what do? Take care of the customers, or the vendors or whoever, So that's very cool. I admire that.
Yeah, more than ever, they're playing a lot of these concrete jungles that are just kind of. I mean, they've actually said it just feels like sometimes it's just a 9 to 5, and they're just going to work and get the job done, but it's not fun. They love coming to these smaller venues to where they're not treated like a number. People actually know who they are, and we've had a number of them saying it's so cool to play for fans. Yeah.
And do you guys reach out or tap into their fan base to promote these things as well?
Yes, we co-host a lot of the online social media. Right. They promote it, we promote it. Some of our shows we count on it. We'd love to build this to be a music destination for year round. Right now, we tried last year in April. We had a show outside of the season and just couldn't fill it. So we need the tourists, to fill it some until we get that huge local support to fill 3,500 people. But we're working on it. I think it's the buzz is growing and locals are excited, and hopefully we'll have more outside of the season this year.
So when we talk about local music or the local music scene, could you describe the local music scene for the average Joe? What it's like?
It's been slow the last 20 years. We used to have a really, really robust scene, local music scene, and then a lot of traveling artists came through, made a stop in the Outer Banks. Pretty much any tour that was touring would make their stop somewhere around here. And I feel like in the last, I don't know, 15, 20 years, it's definitely been a lot less. Most of the venues here have always been a restaurant that decides to have a band play in the corner or something like that, to where it wasn't really set up for music. But there seems to be a trend now, like with these bigger shows that are coming in, to where, I don't know, we're seeing definitely the local music scene overall coming back for sure. I mean, there's definitely always been the pier, places, the acoustic sets at the pier. But we're definitely seeing, and there's a lot of great local talent. But just hasn't been a lot of great places to play. There's a lot of cool little places, but not enough to get the exposure that they need.
Gotcha. Are you guys? I'm sorry, I'm digressing, and that's my squirrel brain taking over. But the casino in Nags Head, Fats Domino,
Right.
Chubby Checker,
Louis Armstrong, I think.
Yep,
I'm like,
yep.
That blows my mind. That totally blows my mind.
Yep, and Atlantis, and what was the other one? Quagmires, didn't they? Mostly Atlantis.
Yeah, and actually that piano that was at Casino, I guess it's part from the Bass Knight family. It ended up at, I think it's at Jeanette's Pier right now, upstairs at Jeanette's Pier.
I saw that.
Yeah, and trying to get more use out of it like that. But actually, Michael Bass Knight, who just bought Pioneer, has been a big mover and shaker trying to get the music scene back going here.
Yeah.
He has actually now the Manio House, where he's looking at doing some little acoustic, smaller singer-songwriter type.
Where's the Manio House?
It's right downtown Manio. It actually was Sir Walter Hideaway, but it was, I believe, the Evans family had it forever.
I'm drawing a blank.
It's got green shutters, white. It's on a corner. It's on sort of like a triangle property. It's beautiful, and 7 bedrooms.
Yeah, white with green shutters. It basically, from the front door, it looks at the lighthouse, the Manio Lighthouse.
Okay.
And if you've been down there lately, the large hotel apartment.
Yes, I saw that.
Okay, it's two
Right next to it.
lots. From
Okay,
that.
I think I'm with you now. I think I'm following you. Okay, cool.
And he has that. We actually had one of the bands that's coming here this summer that was scoping out the area and just kind of getting some footage for promo. It's actually the one that's being announced today. They stayed there. He wants to have some bands stay there, and it's actually an Airbnb.
Right.
I was getting ready to put it up as an Airbnb.
Right.
And then he's completely renovating the Pioneer, sort of to look classic like it always did, but cleaning it up, making it just more, putting a bar, food trucks in the side yard. So he wants to have music inside, outside, sort of in that little side lot.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
So we're going to do, even for the one we're announcing today, there's going to be a couple storytelling songwriter sessions in there for VIP. You buy a ticket to it. You can sit in this, 250
capacity.
250 people only, and watch your favorite musician do a little session. Yeah. So Manio's, they're kicking it up. They just approved the social district where you can walk around with your drink, and so it seems like it's going to be buzzing. A couple of years, it'll be.
Could that be a game changer for you guys this summer? I mean,
it's definitely
people,
yeah. It's
socializing, walking around.
Yeah,
that's the intent of it, is to make it more just attract visitors. Entertainment district.
Right.
Just make it more fun to come and hang out and shop and do everything. So yeah, and that's what we're trying to do too, and not have so much traffic coming like right at, say, gates or at 4:00. Right. So we're trying to do like earlier, meet and greet type things to get people into town like earlier in the day. Even the night before, we're doing some things with the Pioneers. So if we have a show on Saturday, we're going to do something the Friday night before, just to get people to come in, so they're already there, not creating more traffic day of show. But yeah, the town's been a big support and help, and I mean everyone's been really, really good to work together to try and solve any issues that there are. And one of the issues is just all that traffic at once. So trying to spread out more accommodations. Definitely working on more hotel rooms in the town.
I seem to remember last summer you had a lot of shuttles going. Where are they picking people up for the shuttles?
So they're Dare County Schools shuttle buses that for June shows it's going to be just middle school and College of Albemarle, and then July August we'll add the high school. We had the high school also last year, but they have the Daredevils baseball or Scalawags, I believe they're going to be called this year.
Okay.
Have basically the high school for the month of June.
Okay.
So we couldn't use that parking.
Right. Okay.
Middle school and COA shuttle parking.
So you're going to announce something today. Mm-hmm. But what do we know already that you haven't announced? There is one Music Fest already set up.
7 shows
we
already
have
announced, I think.
Today will make 7 announced. And then we have 2 or 3 more to come.
Okay.
Depends on what we're working on.
Yeah, June 20th is a co-headline of Lettuce and Steel Pulse with Makua Rothman, who he's big wave surfer, 2015 big wave world champ.
Really?
And he got into the music, I guess, about 10 years ago. And we're looking at doing a beach sweep cleanup with him and also like a little singer-songwriter thing the night before.
And that's the lead. That's the opening show for the.
That's the kickoff.
Gotcha.
Which Steel Pulse was here last year. They're classic reggae, awesome, fun to watch. And then Lettuce is a jam band, so it's like jam reggae, mix it up.
Funky.
Okay. So it could be interesting.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a killer.
And so, do you have a cap on how many shows you want to put on?
We're looking at 10, just for the health of our staff.
Yeah, that's what's sustainable.
Yeah. We did 3 in a row last year, 3 back to back, and we could barely walk by day 4.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
So we're trying we don't have any. We might have 1 back to back, but otherwise we at least have a day in between.
And
do you try to avoid the weekends because of the traffic, or no?
We did last year. I don't think we had any.
No,
we had a Friday night and Sunday nights, but we didn't have any Saturdays. Yeah, because of the traffic. But we had some locals, that are Monday through Friday 9 to 5ers that can't come during the week. That said, let's have some on Saturday. So we have at least 2 right now that are scheduled for Saturday. 1 July, 1 August.
3 Saturdays.
Well, the one isn't done yet.
So
then Revolution is Thursday, June 22nd, and that's with Iration, who is actually a headliner by themselves. Expendables, Pacifier, and then don't have another show there until July 22nd with Jake Owen, Nico Moon, Cooper Greer. It's big country. That one's selling like crazy. And then that same week, that's Country Week, we've got Travis Tritt, who actually we just started selling tickets last week, and it's already the most tickets we've sold for any show so far.
Nice.
He's come with Chase Matthew, and
that one really quick is going to benefit Interfaith Community Outreach.
Cool.
And American Legion.
Nice.
So we're teaming up with them. We're going to have a lot of veterans, hopefully attending, but also helping. Just we need volunteers. We get volunteers for all our shows.
Talk about that for a second.
Yeah. We have, like I said earlier, our staff, we probably have 8 to 10, like full-time, not full-time year, but during the season who are there, a merch
8
manager.
to 10 seasonal staffers.
Right. Yeah. And then we need to really pull it off comfortably, 20 to 30 volunteers per show. Right. We've had amazing volunteers that come back over and again. But what we do is if they're there for a minimum of 4 hours, they get a ticket to a show. And if they want to come the day before, help set up because they want to go to the show the next day. If they don't really care about that show too much, they'll come work that show and then come to a different one.
Right.
That's kind of how we've worked it. They'll get drinks and food.
What kind of work do they do?
Anything from scanning tickets, to debris pickup, to running, like being a runner for anything that the bands would need, or band members taking them, to
setting up tents and fencing the day before, and then breaking it down the day after.
the bars, working the bars.
Yeah, like ice running.
Are you guys setting up beer vendors and stuff like that?
Yeah,
and that's you guys.
Right.
Wow.
We have City Beverages, our main person that's helping us. And we have 3 bars at every show. There's 2 giant ones out in the main field, and then we have a VIP section that has its own bar. And we're really working on that program to make it more efficient. I think that was our biggest negative, was lines.
Yeah, the beer lines.
There's no, and again, novice here, there's no BYOB or anything like that?
No.
Right.
No, you can bring an empty water bottle. So we do offer these giant, how many gallons are they?
125-gallon water tanks.
They're called water monsters and refillable. So you can bring an empty refillable bottle for water, but no BYOB. We sell it all.
Yep.
But we've got beer, seltzer, wine.
Tell me some of the benefits of the VIP.
So it's a smaller section. It still is GA considered, meaning so that if you go into the VIP section, you can still get to the rail. But it's a section of it that goes all the way back, and it's got a separate bar for purchase, separate food for purchase. So meaning that you don't have to wait in line, separate bathrooms so that there's not as many people using them.
Right.
We cap it off at 250, 300 at the most. So you can move around. You can bring chairs to our shows, but we keep it behind a certain line because people like to be in the pit, if you would call it a pit. So, and then this year we're doing something different, is having suites. Like, I think we can fit 6 is what we're looking at right now, where companies or sponsors, that's also, the VIP area is also for sponsors, which have been crucial and amazing. But there are going to be 6 of these suites that seat 6 people. You'll get seating from Nag's Head Hammocks. They're a big sponsor. They outfit. It's actually going to be called Nag's Head Hammocks Music Village is the VIP area.
Cool.
So they bring us a bunch of furniture, tables, chairs, and they'll put them all throughout the property for people to sit in.
Right.
Hammocks.
Roped off area, kind
Yeah.
of, so to speak.
Yeah, we put up fencing, and then there'll be a platform, some raised viewing this year that's going to be different. For a certain amount of people that we're doing new this year.
How hard it is to get a VIP seat or a suite?
You got to do
depends
it.
on how much money
I
you
mean,
got.
yeah. I mean, we have our certain amount of sponsors that get those, including in their packages, and then we sell about 125 per show of those. So you just have to be first come, first serve.
Gotcha.
Oh, yeah, but the suites, there's this year we're just starting with 6 of them, and where most of all of this stuff has come from is requests, from sponsors and or fans of that they've seen in other venues or that we've seen too. But most of it is just it's coming from requests really, and that was a few of them that said, yeah, you know what, when we get the season pass for so and so, we like to get the box seat and then have our own little space. So that's where it came from. So this year we're starting with 6. And I think we're selling 4 as like season passes, and then we're looking at just having 2 as like you can get a la carte per show. If someone's got a birthday or a special event, they can get a box suite. But
and think grass rates. It's on the grass. It's going to be Nag's Head Hammock furniture. It's going to be super comfy. But
that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it's still in the grass in the same area, sort of blocked off with some bicycle fencing. But it's a good feel.
Yeah.
And kids are running around. Kids 8 and under are free for all shows. So we do see a lot of kids with their parents, and they love it. They can put a blanket out or.
Right. And so what are some of your favorite venues?
Ours.
Yeah.
Definitely now. We go to.
Well, you've been fortunate because you've been able to mold it exactly how you want
Right.
it.
Right.
There's a festival down in Florida that we've been going to for close to 10 years now that we really like the venue. It's Reggae Rise Up. It's in St. Pete, called Vinoy Park, and it's basically just a park that they convert. It's on a peninsula, so it's surrounded by water, much like festival park, and then they have a couple stages, and they're big into the art, so they have some artists coming doing some live art. Just it's been one of our favorite venues to go to festival, and the festival's good too, but we really like the venue part of it.
Right.
And then, of course, the kind of the bucket list for most any music fan is Red Rocks out in Colorado.
Yeah, I've seen that on video. It's very cool looking.
And it's a special place. So that's cool, and that's what we want to make this venue here in the Outer Banks is a bucket list place to see your favorite band.
Sure.
And that's what we're trying to do.
What would you? So, I'm from out of town. I see a concert I want to go to. I buy a ticket. What would you recommend? Maybe, go downtown, park early, get something to eat, get something to drink, whatever, walk over. What would you recommend that would really enhance somebody's visit to one of your concerts?
If I were coming here to a show, I would go wake up, grab some coffee from one of the local shops, and watch the sunrise at the ocean, and then come over to Manio mid-morning and just stroll around town. It's only about 3 to 4 blocks but it's all cool little shops, and you could spend the day there just walking around and hopping around. And I would just stick around that downtown area. There's a lot of buzz going on. You can probably hear the sound checks happening from the show. I'd rent some kayaks and actually kayak around the island. It'd be super fun. The fan boat we had never done it before last year, and it's so unique for this area because boating it's hard with the shallow waters and shifting sands that we have, but that fan boat goes over half an inch of water. So
I used to see that captain come and go at the ramp, and very cool guy, very nice guy, and
he's awesome.
That machine's pretty cool too.
Yeah.
They do a party bus too for the bear tours.
That's right.
They're going to help us with some shuttling too this year.
Nice.
The Magic Bus. It's Jamie and Shannon Moore. They're big live music fans, and they took around a lot of the bands last year and loved it. It was fun, and that's who we're partnering up with, a lot of like-minded, business people that are music fans and want to cater to the bands to make them say Outer Banks was the best place we ever went to, and we're getting that response from a lot of the bands that it was their best stop on tour.
Nice.
I'll add for the experience, if it was me, because we've gone to so many, I always look for something walkable if it's possible. So if you can book a room in town,
right,
ideal.
And there's a lot of cool places right downtown to stay, some bed and breakfast, that type of thing.
Yeah. The Elizabethan's being renovated. That'll be open in time for this summer. They're going to have how many rooms?
About 80.
Yeah, Tranquil Inn, the bed and breakfast, Manio House, any of those that you can walk from. Obviously with Social District too, you can have fun there and not have to go anywhere.
Right. And just to let the listeners know, so Town of Manio approved to create an area right downtown by the waterfront to be a social district, which means you can basically carry a open beverage, and you're fine.
Yep.
So they want people in the nice weather during the nice season to be able to just walk around and enjoy the Outer Banks and downtown Manio. And downtown Manio is a very cool place in my book, so I totally get it.
I agree. My other thought would be golf cart. Don't have to park, meaning we have limited parking. It's first come, first serve.
Right.
I think that's everybody's challenge is either do the shuttle from the school or golf cart. We're going to try to figure out some grass parking for those just to add.
The parking on the island where the venue is it's almost gone, just an hour or two before show for sure. But we're trying to find a cool spot just for golf carts to kind of promote people to take golf carts because they take up a lot less space.
Right.
And then our shuttle, we're going to run shuttle, sorry. We are creating, which will be released probably in the next week or so, Easy Button, which means you can click on it. You can get, in addition to your ticket, a room at we have some partners that we're working through with Crew Fair. And I think we have 6 or 8 hotels that are on board with it that are, even if they're at the beach, like say the Hilton, they're one of the partners. You could book the room at the Hilton, get a shuttle from the Hilton to bring you to the show, bring you back.
Very cool.
So that'll be coming up. And I would do that if I couldn't get a walkable place
Right.
or for locals.
Right. Yeah, there's a lot of great walkable places right there from the venue. It'd be cool to just walk right out of the venue back to your room or to one of the places to have a beverage. That's great. Where do you see the business going from here?
It's been full force. I mean, full steam ahead. So it's hard to tell. I mean, like I said, we want to make it more year round. So it's lots of doors are opening. A lot of people are excited about it and want to. I think if we could staff people and make it something that we can keep growing and growing, sky is the limit here. I mean,
When you say staff people, like year-round people that keep the machine moving?
Yeah, that don't. For instance, our shows now being in the summer, you can't really pull a lot of people from their jobs because that's when they're busy to help you all the time. If we had a year-round that we could really
So places like the theater would definitely be a big boon to what you guys want to do.
Right.
Yeah, the goal is to put the Outer Banks on the music map for when someone's favorite band announces their tour and there's 30 tour dates and they can travel to one or two that they're like, I'm going to the Outer Banks because it's this cool venue, and then they do these extra stuff around it. And not necessarily us doing it. We want to kind of create, I mean, we already have started just with the big shows, created a wave of just music kind of coming here, and we're seeing a lot more stuff popping up around. And that's it. It's pretty much just draw attention to this area. It's not just the beach, but music. And it's been a struggle forever. We've got so many empty beds in the off season to bring those people here because everyone just associates the beach with it, and the beach really isn't that much fun in December through March especially. Right. But if you have some indoor cool entertainment venues, we've got plenty of accommodations, very, very inexpensive that time of year, to where that's what we want to build, is to where a year-round entertainment destination is the goal. Right. So we don't have to travel for music.
But I guess the key ingredient is the venue, the indoor venue. Mm-hmm. Do you digress?
Even a few of them.
What's that?
A few of them would be, like
multiple.
Yeah, the 100. Just for different things. Like the Pioneer is going to be a special venue because they're going to keep the seating in there for smaller singer songwriter, acoustic,
comedy.
Like meet and greet, comedy, and then you'll have say like the 400 or 500 capacity like club that has all those kind of touring bands that are coming through. Right. But yeah, I think it's a multiple venues type of.
Digressing a little bit, but does that potential venue in Nags Head at the Sound side, does that intrigue you at all, or are you rooting for something like that?
Oh yeah. We want to try and influence that to be as much geared towards music as possible. Sure. Yes. No. It's gonna be a little smaller than the capacity of Festival Park, but I think we'll be able to get a lot of the same bands if you get them traveling through, say in November when we have an indoor venue. Right. We love that. That's gonna go in.
And speaking of indoor venues, do you worry about the weather much in the summertime? Every day?
That's our biggest challenge, and we can't control it. So we have not had any cancellations, thank God. I know.
Knocking on wood.
We've had 2 rain delays where people had to exit from lightning. Not rain delay for lightning. If it's rain, we've had some downpour monsoon shows that turned out to be amazing. But we did have 2 shows that we had to exit everybody.
Yeah, if there's lightning within 5 miles, everyone has to take cover for 15 minutes from the last time there was a lightning strike within 5 miles, and it happened twice. But it's the biggest concern. Actually, it's crazy how much mind space is used for weather, because when there's a nice day, we're kind of like going around like we're forgetting something, because that's what you're really thinking about most of the time is the weather.
So if people want to find out more about Vusic Fest, where should they go?
Our website is VusicOBX.com. We have all our shows on there, season passes. The easy button will be there soon. That's where we make our announcement. We announce on social, but...
What's your social?
VusicOBX.
Okay. And you're on...
We're on Facebook, Instagram.
Excellent.
We have a TikTok channel or station, whatever it's called, but I don't know how to do it.
Any shots of Brad dancing in TikTok?
Not yet.
We need to get our kids on
little
it.
pop and lock from Brad.
But if you haven't been to a show there and you wanted to see what it's like, we do have a concert archives section where it's got our recaps. And actually on our Facebook, you can look at basic videos and recaps of all the shows.
Snippets of the concerts.
Yeah, and kind of get an idea of what it's like. And that's what the recaps we try and make it to where if someone's never been there, get the feeling of what it's like to be at a show there. So the recaps are really cool.
Yeah, they're really well done. We work with Ignite Films has done them for us before. Alex, he's awesome. And then Risk Visuals has been doing them too. It's this young couple, and they give you the feeling of it. Like nice. You'll get the feeling of being at the show from these. Nice. So we are going to work on this year with them. Kind of showing what it takes to do one of these, like setup, breakdown, involving all the not so fun stuff. Like in a quick little video of, this doesn't just happen magically.
And if somebody wanted to volunteer, how would they get in touch with you?
They can go to the website and there's a sign up where you can for sponsorship or volunteer. Okay. And email comes to us and then we'll contact them.
Outstanding. Anything else we should know?
I wanted to mention our title sponsor is Skydive OBX.
Okay.
So
cool.
Sven there has stepped up and wanted to be a huge part of it. We met with him. He's excited, and he's actually offering part of his the packages. He offers skydiving to the bands.
Yeah.
So if they come, they can actually jump.
Wow.
Yeah, crazy, but.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't know. That would be a cool thing of go skydiving before a show.
I think Brad should deliver the microphone. Skydiving.
Well, it has.
He would.
Landing in front of the stage.
It's a whiteboard brainstorm that we have is to do a
Let's whiteboard that thing right now.
It's to do a promo with actually having a band load up into the plane, all through video and editing, and then having them jump out of the plane, and then you're kind of like seeing Festival Park.
Yeah.
And then we can't land actually in the park, but Sven has actually said, who owns Skydive OBX, that he's landed behind the stage in the water, to where you can make him land there, make it look like they landed,
right.
behind the stage,
right.
and then through editing have them taking their parachutes off and then
dripping wet
to the big crowd. Yeah, right. But have them, on stage, kind of taking their parachute to the big crowd. I just see it as the old American Express commercials.
Right.
That's it.
I love it. So the Skydive guys are going to sponsor it. Excellent. Anything else?
I do have one more thing.
Okay.
We through the Mustang Outreach Program, Jackson, our son, was in that.
Let's go ahead and we barely explain the Mustang Outreach Program.
It's a local nonprofit, and they have teachers, which is Ruth Wyan. She started it with Mike Diana and Shelly Gates, who's our stage manager. Amanda Williams. They bring in kids, and it's a almost free program, but they teach them instruments. So Jackson did drums. They have keyboard, guitar, and what they've done in the past is they're trying to grow it back up again. But they'd have concerts locally, so right. They practice each week. Each one of them, and it's everything from kindergarten, little kids rocking it, and then typically by the time they're at middle school, they've got some really good that you can dance to. Yeah. They sound good. So they opened up our hotel show and it was wild for them because they got backstage passes. They were talking to the other bands, that kind of thing. So that sort of led us to think of doing. Again, Jackson has done backstage music lessons through Stick Figure. The guy, Kevin Officer, he's their drummer. He started the program, and it's all these artists who, if say you went to a Springsteen show and he's on this backstage music lesson program, one of his, even maybe him, band members would do a lesson before the show backstage. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Jackson's done it 6 or 8 times, everywhere from Vegas to, it's Florida. Really cool.
Wow.
So we started that, but it's going to be free, and it's called VusicOBX lessons, and local kids, special needs, Adults can too, but sign up for it and take lessons in our VIP section before the shows.
So we're going to do a group, like about 10 or so people. We did it at about 5 shows last year that are in that backstage music lesson program that Kevin Officer has. He has about 60 artists that participate in it. And it was just the kids that went to it. And then in the families, the parents, it was one of those lifelong memories that you just don't forget. So we're actually we're expanding that to doing every show this year.
Wow.
And offering that to local kids.
Does that require some buy-in from the band?
Well,
Yes.
we pay them
Okay.
to do it.
You throw enough money at them, they'll do anything.
Yeah, and it's.
And if we can't get a traveling band, member to play, which we haven't had one yet that said no, we have some local musicians that will jump in and actually do the lesson in that same environment, the backstage area.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah. So you have a backup plan, safety net, so to
Right.
speak.
Yep.
Nice.
And we have a sponsor deck or level for that. Not quite filled yet, but somebody will, I'm sure, that loves
Somebody will
kids.
step up.
Yeah. So that helps pay for them, but it's a really cool thing to watch.
Do you want to put in a plug for sponsors or anything like that? Besides mentioning, are you looking for any more sponsors?
We have all our upper deck people filled. We got Skydive, then Nags Head Hammocks is doing the Music Village. Anderson Heating and Cooling is going to have some cool cooling stations, which people will love because it's so hot. And then City Beverage, we got Monster Energy drink sponsoring. They're going to be doing samples. Tate Feltz with Southern Trust Mortgage. And then Jack Brown's, they're going to do some after parties and offer some of those activations with the bands.
Nice.
We have all our hotel partners, but Keys Vacations has been pretty awesome. And then H2OBX and Town Bank.
And.
But
yeah, we're always looking for companies, people, sponsors, that love live music. It's always a good mix. So yeah,
Right.
it's
Very important.
yeah, and then our people who are just amazing trade. Like you mentioned, Kitty Hawk Kites, and then Jamie and Shannon from Adventures that just make the experience.
Right.
The Ivy ladies.
Right.
It's really cool.
Nice. All right.
Community effort.
Well, no, you're in the right place, and that's part of the show, Treasures of the Outer Banks. Just promoting the community and the people that make this place special. So I appreciate everything you guys do in the community and the music. I'm sure the musicians enjoy it, the bands enjoy it, and I know the fans will definitely enjoy it the next time we get a session going over there at Festival Park. So check out, VusicOBX.com, see when the concerts are, go get a ticket, get ready to go.
Yeah, man.
Rebecca, Brad, I definitely appreciate you guys sitting down with me today.
Thank you.
Thanks, John.
We'll see you at a show.
Sounds like a plan. I want to thank Rebecca and Brad for sitting down with me. It was definitely a great time and very informative. I appreciate all the work that they have put into it. If you heard my talk last week about the Bruce Springsteen concert, I'm actually a little excited about going out into seeing some more music at some of these venues. And I think Roanoke Island would be a perfect venue for a person like me who doesn't like a ton of people. But I love downtown Manteo. I love Festival Park. It's such a cool place. I'm sure I could find my own little space over there and not feel too crowded. And of course, it's just a cool area to walk around afterwards or beforehand and enjoy some of the stuff that's going on in town there. So definitely looking forward to that. I am seriously thinking about volunteering for some of the concerts. I think that would be a cool way to just help them out, be involved in the community and enjoy some music and the crowd. And I really do enjoy helping people, especially visitors on the Outer Banks. So I think that could be a really cool thing. Another option is I do have a boat. I might consider, maybe cruising by there behind the stage and just listening from the boat, which would definitely be very cool for my wife and I. So anyway, I really appreciate all the information they have, and I appreciate all the work that they've done to create an amazing experience on the Outer Banks. I hope some of you locals can check it out and enjoy it, as I'm sure a lot of the tourists will as well. So Thanks for listening to this episode. Feel free to leave a positive review if you can. And until next time, make it a good one.